Oi oi, alright, how's it going? I'm Grant, this is Doodle Review. We're in the week of punk reviews, talking about the latest one from Spanish Love Songs. Now, I struggle with Spanish love songs, to be honest. To me, they've always fallen into the bracket of groups with the very specific blues of a punk band in their post-30s. This is the typical millennial blues that kick in around 30, haven't bought a house, nowhere near financially stable enough to think about buying a house, and still trying to drink like a 20-year-old, but with worse, more soul-crushing hangovers laced with anxiety. But people in punk bands also have the added sprinkling of betrayal. Betrayal after idolizing their hardcore pop punk, skate punk heroes in the late 90s, early 2000s, only to find that when they do it for themselves, the music industry has completely collapsed. And even with relatively large success comes relentless touring and social media whoring just to break even. This is a very broad generalization, but if you find yourself listening to bands like Spanish Love Songs, Pup, or the Menzingers, you do start to feel a very consistent theme. In a lot of cases, it does actually work, to be fair. When wrapped in the right songs, this generational despair adds another layer of relatability. But in Spanish Love Songs' case, I just find the song so utterly miserable and joyless that it's hard to get on board, even when they do resonate. Apt then that their latest record is called No Joy, because it really does do what it says on the tin. Now, obviously, there's heaps of personal taste layered in that broad analysis there, so I will start this review assessing the more objective W's this album has to offer, because there are a lot of them, to be fair. Some great production and lead guitar tones can be found throughout, like on the opening track Lifers, that big descending riff that commands the mix on Pendulum, and the tremolo lead that builds up to it in later on in that track. The new wave and digital elements also work well on the record. The percussion on closing track Re-Emerging Signs of the Apocalypse is neat, and the synths scattered throughout as per Haunted, Here You Are and Marvel, where it weaves in and out of the guitar riff, are pretty fantastic. There's actually a lot to enjoy on the face of it, but for me, it's the songwriting I find so draining as to make the record unenjoyable. Clean Up Crew actually serves as the perfect example of what I mean, because this track is awesome, but shows what's missing elsewhere. Clean Up Crew is just as down and depressive as the rest of the album, but there is a romance and poetry to it, which to me is what makes sad music so seductive. The catharsis of melancholy. Compare this with I'm Gonna Miss Everything, that again has powerfully sad lyrics but never pulls off the same level of catharsis Clean Up Crew achieves, even with that relatively upbeat driving chorus. It just doesn't work. This is very personal to me, but when sad music doesn't offer that catharsis, you're just wallowing at that point, wallowing in misery. And for me, to do that, you need to be dropping some once in a generation level lyrics or vocal performance or just beautiful composition. And while the performances on No Joy are great, it's certainly not that. By the time we get to Exit Bags, I'm just done. It's like spent. And hearing one more note of Dylan Slocum's short vibrato just makes me want to scream. This album is going to hit hard for a lot of people, and I feel it might end up on many favourites lists, but to me, it's a hard listen. It's a 4 out of 10. But tell me, what did you think? Did I get this right? Are you into the sad, depressive songs? Let me know. What was your favourite track? Share some thoughts, show some love, or just some abuse in the comments. There are some other videos linked in the description below that I really think you should check out, because you'll probably like them, and I'll see you for more punk reviews in the next video. Cheers.